This is safety and security announcement. Please take care to use and on and off trains as understood surfaces may be affected by the weather. Government guidance states public transport.
Hello again, and welcome back to our Glasgow South Model Tram and Rail Group workshops. A wee while ago, in fact quite some time ago, I was talking about the Lima Great Western Rail car and how the actual pickup on the dummy bogie, you were relying on a brass pin with a clip through it, and it didn't always give you a good connection. And I was talking about making a new pickups for it, but instead of just picking up from one set of the wheels on the dummy bogie, I was going to make it pick up from two. So we're going to have a wee look at that now, what my idea is, and once I've got the camera set up, I'll be back very shortly. So here we are again, folks, and here is the rail car I've got in this box. And if you ever want to do this conversion, to get the body off, you've got to take the buffers off, and then underneath there is two screws at each end of this underbody that you take out, and the body just lifts off. There you are, that's how you do that. I'll get my specs on now, folks. Now, my idea will also take, I'll maybe zoom in a wee bit. Don't want to move in too much in case you lose part of this. Take out the inside, the seats, and you're left with the motor, the cable running from the motor back to the clip that holds the bogie in place. Now, what we do is we just take that clip out and lift it up, and the bogie just falls out. We don't need this for the moment now. That's it, fixed. I'll put this back. As a matter of fact, I'll put the body back on it. Put the cable on the inside, and then put the body back on. Put it back in its case. So we're now concentrating on the bogie. Now, I have already done a bit of this, so to let you see what I've actually done is this bit of metal here is what you find when you take this base plate off. It sits in that rod, which is spring loaded, and these bits here on each side fit under the axles, and that's how you get the power. So what we do is we take this bottom plate out. Once I get the, oh, there it is. You just push. You push that plastic bit in at the end there. Maybe get it the other end better. There we are, that's it. And then the other side should just drop. Sometimes they can be a wee bit footery. there we are, the wheels just drop, and you're left with the two wheels, put them aside, and you're left with the pin with the plunger. See that? I'll let you see. That bit for to pick up the wheels goes on like that, and then the spring goes on like that, and then these bits here go underneath the wheel axles. So I'll take that out, I'll take this off because we don't need them for the moment. Just make sure you don't lose the spring. This bit here you don't need anymore. If this goes to plan, I haven't tried this, so if it goes to plan, that's the deciding factor. So what I will do is, I've got this wee plastic bag here, I'll stick this in there, just in case this doesn't work out. I don't really see why it shouldn't work out, but never mind. Like that, and the pin and the spring is in there, because you still need that pin and the spring to hold the bogie into the bodywork. Put that back in there. Now, my idea is utilising some Vero board, no, strip board, and if we put strip board across the bottom of this and then glue it onto this bit here on the underside, you see, then yeah, that's it there. With the line, that will allow you to pick up the power. Fine wire will go, be soldered onto that, hitting against the inside of the wheels. Obviously, with the look of these, they'll have to be cleaned up because they're pretty manky in there. One of the wheels is metal straight to the axle. The other wheel has an insulator. I don't know if you can see that in there. The other wheel's got an insulator in the inside. So that allows you to have a pickup on both sides of the chassis, so that it's picking up for both sets of wheels. You're only getting one set on the power bogie because you've got insulating tyres, or traction tyres as they call them. So we've got that. I'll put these wheels in the box where the loco is, so I don't lose them. So what we've got to do is, I'll put this back in to give me a guide, like that, so that I can find out how long this has got to be. I think 3 strips broad should be enough, and then we'll see how we go from there. I'll see how we go from there. So once I've got a wee bit further on with it, I'll come back and explain a bit more. Hello again, folks, and here we have the strip board glued, as I said. I've now got the wires through. Now, I had a wee bit bother with this to get this right, and I sent away for some cable. It's 7 strands, 0.2mm each strand. That lets it flex easy enough to get it up through the bogie and to make sure that the bogie pivots. That's imperative. So what we'll do is, I think I'll maybe zoom out a wee bit, I think. you a better idea what's going on. So, as I said, we've drilled holes in the bogie to take the cable up. So we'll just put the get the other cable through. There we are, it's through. Now, the other thing you've got to watch is that when you put the wheels back in, now I'm going to see if I can zoom right in this, because this is something that if you look, trying to let you see this, I told you that the inside of the wheels were very mucky. Well, if you look inside there, in that one, you can see that it's quite shiny now, because I've took the teacup through it to give a good clean contact. Both of these have been done. The other set, what I've done is I've left one of them. So if you look in there, you can see that that is absolutely filthy in there, in the inside of the wheel. The other side is quite shiny. So obviously I'll have to do the one that I've not done yet. So I'll stop there and I'll be back shortly. Okay folks, here we are, and I've got the wires up through the chassis block. I've got the clip back in. Now this is where you've got to make sure that the bogie can swing. You've got to be careful with that the bogie can swing. That's the key to it. Now, I said in the last bit that we had a couple of grooves here that the wires can go through, but the problem is getting it to stay in the grooves. But I've got this, it's not blue tack, but it's similar to it, and I'm going to try a bit of this just to see if it works or not. Just to hold it, the cables in the groove, if you take my drift. Just roll it, if you can roll it into a kind of sausage shape. It's no better, it's a fairly shallow sausage, so you've really got to even just trying to let you see this, folks. Need to see if I can zoom in a wee bit. And even just with a pair of tweezers to get the wire. Make sure you've got a wee bit of play. You've got a wee bit of play at the bogie end, so that you just push it in with your tweezers. And obviously the same with the other one. Just a wee bit of blue tack or whatever you use. Sticking to my fingers. Just, as I say, roll it out. if you've got a wee bit overlapping, just trim it with your knife, because you want this as flat as possible so that the seating unit will sit right in place. My original plan was to have a bit of aero board on the weight, but that didn't work because it was sticking up over the edge. So you just cut the edge with your knife. Pair of tweezers just to take any excess away, and that is what you end up with. Just the wires are secured in the groove, so the seating units just sit on top of that, and then just lead the wires down the side of the weight, and then at the other end there's another wee groove that you can put the wire into. I've made these wires far too long, but I didn't want them to be too short, of course. And then you do the same at the other end. Roll it into your thin sausage. Again, just check, make sure that bogie can move back and forward. And just, if you need to, just pull it back a bit to make sure. There's a bit of free play. And then just the same again. I don't mean to turn it away from you guys, but I want you to see what I'm doing. So tuck the wire down the side of the weight. Can, if you want, actually stick a bit of the blue tack down the side of the weight, just to make sure the cable doesn't come out. If you see what I mean. That holds the wire down out the way. And then just another wee bit just to keep it in that groove. Even if you get your steel rule to kind of flatten off, I'll stick a wee bit of stuff in the centre there. And that just leaves you with the bogie itself to connect the wires to it. Now, what you've got to watch is you've got to make sure that you get the wire the same polarity on both ends, otherwise you'll end up with a short. Okay folks, we've now got the polarity right. How you do it is you connect your meter to the one terminal of the motor and to the circuit board underneath. Obviously you can not put the pickup wires in yet, so you can't do it there, but if you get the circuit board to the motor, as long as that set and that set, two metal sets, you get a reading in the meter, you're fine. The other side it doesn't matter because you can't get power on this side anyway. So as I say, the next stage is to put the pickup wires on, and I've got, what I did was I sent away for some what is it, 28 SWG wire, nickel silver, and as I say, I don't know whether it's going to work or not. We'll just have to see. I just saw this, but it was quite cheap, so I just decided to get a roll of it, and there's plenty of it there. So once I get this set up, I know I've said it before. Okay folks, we're back again, and we left with the whole inside all done. We got all the wires in place, got the clip in to hold the bogie in, and I was going to go on to the underneath of the pickups and I'll just let you see what I've done. I told you I got some 28 SWG wire, and I've just cut it to size. Don't know if you can see that or not. Try to. And you can see it there. 4 pickups, 2 to each wheel, and if I put a battery onto the wheels, you can hear the motor runs, and that's exactly what you want. It's a very, very easy conversion. This, it takes a bit of time, yes, I'm not disputing that. And we've got the seating unit here, which should just pop in, I think. No, I've got it right the wrong way. There we are, it just sits in like that. And you can see from that, it does make a difference, because you're no longer relying on this pin. This pin's redundant. Well, it's not, because it holds the bogie in, but there's no electrical connection to it. You've got your bogie able to swing back and forward the way it should. Might have just a wee bit of bother, maybe. Just want the wires to stay in place, but you can see the bogie does swing. Check the other bogie as well, by the way, that it swings as well, so obviously the two of them have to swing. And I think that's really about all there is to it. Put the seating unit in. Yep, that's it back on, and we've got the body here, which should just fit on. There you are. And it's back together. Back together. The green banana, as they call it. Well, that's what I call it. Got the 2 screws and the buffers to put on it. So we'll just do that now. Now, as well as doing, obviously I did it with the Great Western rail car, but you could do it in theory with any Lima locomotive or rail car that has that type of system where you've got that brass pin that's not very reliable, being quite honest about it. But you can in theory do it with any of them. The Deltic you can do it with. Just get the buffers in. That will hold the body on for you. And then you've got the 2 screws that just fit into the 2 holes in each side of the centre. And hey presto, the whole thing back together. There is the Vero board with the pickups on it. You might have to adjust the wee pickups every so often, but as you can see, it runs. It does run. I see a wee bit of T-cut still on the wheels, but that can be polished up and get rid of. Just with a wee cotton bud that's coming off right now. So just to rub away any so there you are, folks, that's how it's done. One thing I should have said was, if you're going to do this, before you connect the wires from the non-motorised bogie to the motorised bogie, I suggest that you take the motor apart, clean the commutator. It will save you later on having to disconnect the wires to get the bogie out. So if you clean it, because I wasn't sure about this one. When I went to check it, I took it apart, it was clean as could be, so it didn't need, but check it before, that way it will save you a lot of bother later on. So that's the end of this wee workshop now. As I said, you can do it with the Deltic, you could possibly do it with the class 33, maybe the class 26 and 27. I think Lima did them as well. As long as you've got, if you're picking up from one side of the dummy bogie, it can be done. So with those few remarks, I'll leave you to it. Keep on shunting, keep on modelling, and may God bless you.
Midnight, speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We will sort it, see it, say it, sorted.